Good morning, everyone. Thank you for gathering on this very special day. My name is Armin Afsahi. I'm Vice Chancellor for Advancement, and I have the honor of introducing our Chancellor, who will make a very, very special announcement with all of us gathered today. You know, there are moments in a university's history where markers really continue to validate the mission of the place and the true purpose of our work. They start with Welcome Week, when we bring our new students into the campus and see their joyful faces as they begin their journey. Moments throughout the year where we celebrate the achievements of our faculty, our students, our staff, and our graduates in the remarkable success they continue to have. And of course, there's graduation, when we all bear witness to thousands of individuals who we've had a profound impact on their lives, and they go on doing great things. Today is one of those special moments in our history. Today is a day when we get to celebrate the wonderful act of kindness, love, compassion, and the validation in our mission. And these moments are very special for chancellors. I know that Chancellor Emeritus Ritchie is with us today. We had a chance to reach out to Dr. Dwight Smith and Dr. Bob Coombe. They couldn't be with us today, but they also wish they were here joining Chancellor Chop on this special day. We have done many of these occasions together, and Chancellor Chop is on her 5th year, as many of us know. So she is now as much University of Denver and Denver as anyone could be. I'm not sure she needs a formal introduction, but I do like to, before I welcome her up, just really on behalf of all of us, thank you for your continued commitment to DU's values, to our sense of purpose, and the way with which you guide and drive us to do our work with nobility and with compassion. So please join me in welcoming our 18th Chancellor, Rebecca Chop, who will share this wonderful, wonderful news with you all.
Thank you, Armin, and thank you all for being here this morning for this amazing and wonderful announcement. So this morning we have the distinct opportunity to honor the visionary generosity of Doug and Mary Scrivner, two individuals who have a deep history with the University of Denver. Doug is an alumnus of Sturm College of Law. He received his JD in 1977. He met Mary while in Denver, and he skipped his graduation so they could get married in Evans Chapel. My first contact with Doug was I was sitting, well, let's just say comfortably, as president of Swarthmore College, and I got this call mid-April. Well, actually, I got an email from a man named Doug Scrivner who said, could you help me? Could you just consult? You've done several presidencies. Could you consult about how we can find a new president? So I said yes. It was Denver, after all. And I talked to Doug on the phone, and of course he was interested in a little more than that. And next thing I knew, we were fully into a big intellectual conversation about the future of higher ed and where it was going. This man knew his facts. He had talked about this with the board. They weren't talking about your normal presidential thing. Do you fundraise? Can you deal with faculty? Instead, he was talking in a really visionary way about the strengths of DU, what Dan and the faculty had done, what Greg and Bob Coombe had done, and where we could go. I was hooked. And needless to say, Doug and I began what is, for me, one of the most incredible partnerships in my life. Doug and Mary's interest and commitment and involvement in DU is far-reaching. From the Accenture Terrace in the Engineering and Computer Science building to the Front Porch Cafe, still the favorite place of our students to eat, to philanthropy in support of Sturm College of Law and Ricketson Law Building. Doug's service to DU, and we should say Mary's support and tolerance of the amount of time this took, is simply incredible. Doug, as you know, just finished being the chair of the Board of Trustees. Think about what happened during Doug's leadership on this campus. It would have happened without him. The campus strategic plan, DU Impact 2025. He and the board changed how we did our investment strategy. Today we're getting much better results. They also, under his leadership as the board, went through the budgets very carefully, found extra money so that every penny we had could be devoted to financial aid. The Denver Advantage projects, those 3 lovely projects that will transform our community and our accessibility to community. The Campus Strategic Plan Framework, a visionary transformation for this university and this area. I don't think this man slept, except maybe on those plane rides back and forth from California. But it's symbolic, I think, of Mary and Doug's deep commitments to the public good, deep commitments to higher education, deep commitments to improving the world for individuals, for communities, for the country. Needless to say, their experience in important volunteer and leadership roles at DU have led them to have a deep understanding of what the challenges are, of how this university can face them, and what opportunities lie ahead. So, tremendous appreciation to Doug and Mary, but I have a really big announcement, I am pleased to announce today a transformational gift of $15 million from Doug and Mary Scrivner. This generous gift will fund, endow, and name our public policy program as the Scrivner Institute of Public Policy. In addition, this gift will provide annual support that advances the research, teaching, and public mission of the University of Denver. Okay, I just have to say in the language our students would use, this is awesome! So just a few more words before I bring Doug and Mary up here. The Scrivner Institute will be a place of diverse ideas because they understand that's very important to the democracy. It will be evidence-based critical analysis because Doug and Mary always want the data, reason, inquiry. It will bring together the professional schools, the liberal arts, the policy makers, the students, the faculty, to address the big, sticky problems of the day in new ways and in new forms. That will help us live out our mission to serve the public good. And it will, I believe, be something that DU becomes really known for. We have these strengths. It's a matter of knitting it together. And I think Doug saw this, knitting this together and providing a platform. So, in many ways, the Scrivner Institute for Public Policy will be both the reality and the symbol of this private university, deeply committed for the public good. I am so excited about this project that if I were mayor, I would announce that this is Doug and Mary Scrivner Day. So let's just say it is Doug and Mary Scrivner Day. So thank you. Thank you for this gift, but thank you for placing it in a way that builds upon the great strengths of DU and helps us launch into even greater ways of serving the public good. So now it is my great pleasure to present to you my friends, my partners, our wonderful, generous alum, his lovely wife, Doug and Mary Scrivner.
Well, good morning. And thanks to all of you for joining us on this very special day. And thank you, Rebecca, for your kind and generous introduction and for your leadership and the partnership that we've had for the last 4 years. Many of you know that my initial connections with DU were at the law school, including a wonderful education that served me well across my career, wonderful friends for a lifetime, including Ved and Catherine Nanda, who are with us today, And of course, it was in law school that I met Mary, without whom no future success would have been possible or worth undertaking. So thank you. Over the last 41 years, I've known and worked with each of the deans, and in the early 2000s served on and chaired the law school's visiting committee. Since being honored to be asked to serve as a trustee in 2008, however, I've had the joy of learning so much about what goes on all over this campus and getting to know so many of the extraordinary people who make this place so special. This institution has a proud history. We are in an energizing and challenging time, and the opportunities ahead and the potentials that we can take advantage of together are truly exciting. In addition, for the past 4 years, it has been a joy working closely with Rebecca, a consummate professional, a visionary and strategic thinker whose experience and skills were such a wonderful fit for this university at this time. Working with the board, the faculty, and many, many other constituents and stakeholders, literally thousands of people, Rebecca drove and shaped the development of DU Impact 2025. As I told board members as we were discussing what became DU Impact 2025, I believe DU is at an inflection point in its history, with the potential to transform the institution once again to meet new opportunities. But perhaps for the first time in its history, we do so from a position of strength, not weakness or existential threat. It is in that context of great opportunity, which I believe is a window of opportunity that will not be open forever, with a compelling vision and an innovative strategy, together with exceptional leadership, that Mary and I concluded this was the right time to make the most significant gift of our lifetime. As I keep telling Armin, this is the biggest gift we have ever made or are likely to make in the future, by multiples. But the opportunity to make a real difference told us this was the right time to stretch and step up. I would note that the largest part of our commitment is a bequest to create an endowment, and we intend to delay the effective date as long as we can. But in order to have immediate impact, a significant part of our commitment is in current dollars over the next 12 years to replicate the spend rate from the ultimate endowment so that we can do some hiring, establish the scholarships, and a variety of programs in the near term to begin to have impact now as opposed to waiting for some far away date. Greg, I believe, will talk a little bit about some of the things that we will do to get moving on that promise. So we know why now, but what do we support? I mean, there are so many opportunities across this campus where the opportunities are really exciting, where the people in leadership roles are extraordinary. It took us some time to think about what the most impactful thing we could do. But the more I reflected on DU Impact 2025, it became clear to me that investing in taking the public policy program to a new level could have dramatic impact for our students, first and foremost for our students, through an enhanced and reimagined curriculum for the 21st century, for interdisciplinary collaboration on real-world problems. To me, public policy is really the quintessential knowledge bridge and fits so well with the mix of academic disciplines and professional programs at DU. And for engagement with Denver and beyond. The Institute for Public Policy Studies, established under Dwight Smith's leadership and chancellorship, has, under Dick Lamb's and Rick Caldwell's stewardship, served many of our students well. But we see the potential to do so much more, and Rick and I have spent a couple of years talking about this. So much more to be a significant undergraduate major and a respected master's program, preparing students for lives in and out of the policy world and as concerned citizens. to take on an interdisciplinary research agenda that draws upon the extraordinary faculty all across this campus, that engages Denver and draws together academics and practitioners from around the world. Greg, Armin, and I, with the support of Rebecca and Jeremy and Rick and others, have sketched out a process to engage the entire campus and go beyond the campus to explore what the Institute can become as a public policy program for the 21st century. So it is our hope, as Rebecca said, that the Scrivner Institute of Public Policy will be a place of diverse ideas, evidence-based critical analysis, problem solving, and informed discussion, debate, and the modeling of civil discourse on real-world problems. Our hope is that our gift at the intersection of ideas, impact, and opportunity can make the Institute one more jewel in the crown of DU. We hope you share our excitement, our confidence about the potential for the Institute and for DU, and will join us in supporting, in as many ways as you can, all that DU can be. So thank you again for joining us today in this very special day.
I would like to invite Provost Emeritus Greg Kivestat. That sounds nice. Who's still technically on a sabbatical, but he's here today. And as Doug mentioned, he's been working closely with Doug in blueprinting the vision and the concept. And Greg, if you can come and say a few words about the plans ahead.
Well, good morning. It is wonderful to be here to celebrate a gift that has the potential, if we do it right, to transform the academic landscape here at DU. But it's actually more wonderful to celebrate Mary and Doug, who are long-standing, loving members of this community. Rebecca touched a little bit on that. I've had the pleasure of knowing them for 10 years. When Doug first became board member in 2008, they take the board members around to the senior administrators, and they're not being interviewed, believe me. We're just having a conversation about what the institution is like. And I remember that conversation. And there were a couple of things that became very, very clear to me really fast. First, Doug already knows how universities work. He knew about Duke, and he knew about Stanford. And he also knew that DU had the potential to become an institution that might someday in the near future put those two in the dust. I just said that. Okay. Second, he knew what it meant to be a faculty member and what faculty members and their students need to thrive. And that is huge. I also learned that Doug was a double major in history and political science, and those were such good choices. Doug's insatiable intellectual curiosity about almost everything he is engaged in or wants to engage in is simply stunning. He's one of the very best read members of the DU community, including faculty members, and I'm not exaggerating. There is almost no book on leadership, university governance, public policy, or American political history that he hasn't read before you even know it's out there. He's a natural student, taught well by his mentor, Ved Nanda. Thank you, Ved. And that makes Doug a natural leader. His leadership of the board, which Rebecca talked about, was extraordinary in so many different dimensions. It felt more like a partnership with the faculty, with the deans, with the students, and together, and I really do mean together, we tackled some big issues. Divestment, freedom of expression, faculty development, also known as, but not at DU, post-tenure review. Thank you, Doug. And with all of these, Doug was not just a participant, he was a true thought leader. When I learned that Doug and Mary were interested in expanding our public policy footprint at the university, I thought, okay, hold tight. These conversations are going to be fast-paced, informed, transformative for the university, and a lot of fun. A few months ago, as mentioned, Doug put together a first draft of a concept paper in which he highlighted two things, which he did again in his remarks. The connection of this Public Policy Institute to DU Impact 2025. It is the ultimate knowledge bridge. And second, the opportunity that we have wanted to take advantage of and do regularly, but usually not at this scale. That peculiar facet of the University of Denver where we've got a strong liberal arts program and an incredibly strong set of professional education programs. This institute is an opportunity to do that, as the Chancellor mentioned. Doug's first draft of this concept paper actually read like a proposal to one of our academic councils, minus syllabi, of course, which I think he probably could have put together, but which he absolutely knows is the province of the faculty. We will spend this coming year working with Provost Hafner, the deans and faculty across the university to sketch an academic and operational model for the Institute. We will become students of design and study schools, institutes, and programs across the country to capture ideas and build a model here at DU that is cutting edge, differentiated, and distinctive. We will be and are excited to share our plans as they unfold. As you know, we are certainly not starting from scratch here. The Scrivner Institute will be building on the Institute of Public Policy Studies that my colleagues Rick Caldwell and Governor Dick Lamb built from scratch from very few resources, I might add, in the mid-'80s, and built it into something that it is today that we now can leverage with this gift. Thank you, Rick and Dick, for the strength of our current public policy program, its supporters, students, and alumni. Today we're here to celebrate Doug and Mary. You are dear friends of the university, and through your generosity, our academic rigor and commitment to community engagement will only increase. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg, and welcome back. So before we let you off to this wonderful reception we have, and for you to have the opportunity to personally congratulate Doug and Mary, just a few final words for you. I was sitting next to Mary, and when both Doug and Greg were talking about Doug's insatiable curiosity, she said to me, "Amazon loves Doug." So if you've been one of those wonderful beneficiaries of one of Doug's ebooks, cozy up to him, because he has a wonderful reading list. I'd just like to close by adding my own special words of gratitude to you both. This has been an incredible journey working with you, working with Chancellor Chop, Greg, Rick, many other individuals to really envision this. But throughout this whole process, I've witnessed nothing but kindness, nothing but love, and nothing but the confidence that you have in DU's ability to really respect and treasure your enduring gift. Because our work is our bond, and because the students are the true purpose of our work at DU, this means a great deal to all of us. So thank you so much. Thank you all for coming here. We have students from the public policy program with us. We have many members of the academy and the campus community. So please enjoy yourselves. Chancellor Chop, congratulations. Great way to start your 5th year. And have a wonderful day. Doug and Mary, thank you again.